so we saw BA's and QA's role, but there are other roles. Design role is there, development role is there, test roles, implementation role. Many IT roles are there. So in the first is the big picture, the software development lifecycle. Then within that, we'll dive into what is QA's and BA's responsibility. Then later towards the end of the class, we'll see. So you are welcome to ask questions. Just like you are here to learn, I'm also here to learn. I don't know a lot of stuff, and you don't know a lot of stuff too. Right? So it is just a question of just a few points, right? A few inches. That's all. Maybe I'm few inches ahead of you, and I'm in a position to teach. Right? So all of us have so much to learn. Right? So keep that in mind. Okay, so you're welcome to ask questions. So with that, we will go back to how we started the demo session, right? So we started the demo session saying that software is a product. Software is a product. So when you're learning QA and BA, so instead of banging your head, from a technical perspective, if you just look at it, bit differently, a lot of concepts will fall in place. Okay. So like I said, this is even true for some of the programming stuff, even SQL. Many such concepts are there within SQL as well. So I'll go back to PowerPoint later on, but some detailed explanation is needed. I will rely on these notes. So, and goals are understand waterfall process, understand roles and responsibilities. We talked about BAs and QAs. What about who are programmers? Where do they operate? Who are how does design happen? Who are all involved in the design phase? Support. Few things we'll talk about. Understand how requirements and testing are connected. Tomorrow you are going to learn testing, right? But testing and requirements are connected. BAs and QAs roles, there's a lot of connections between the two roles. We'll talk about that as well to give you a better idea. So 30-40 minutes ago, the demo class, we talked about this, right? Software is a product. Software is a product like any other product in the marketplace. Okay. So why I'm comparing software with the pens, the buildings, cars, etc. They are products too. As we talked before, they are products too. Why I'm doing this unorthodox comparison? As I told you, many non-IT concepts are in IT testing and IT BA. What does it mean? That means, the concept of testing a car. Some of the concepts, right? Many, that's why I use the word many, right? Some of the concepts around testing a car can be applied in QA. Some of the concepts around buying a television, some couple of recruiters are here. Some of the concepts you see in your recruitment world can be applied in BA. Or if you are in Best Buy selling television, that can be applied in BA as well. You are in marketing, no issues. You are a doctor, you can apply. You are a project coordinator, you can apply some of those concepts within BA. So the next point to note is that you can safely argue that software is a product, then there should be a process. Okay. Software is a product, you can argue that there should be a process. Next question is, what is a process? Process is nothing but step-by-step way of completing a task, organized way of completing a task, organized and planned way of completing a task. Next question you can ask is why there should be a process. Right? Imagine you walk through Atlanta airport or another busy airport like Chicago or Boston. Okay. So let's say there is no process to get in and get out. Then what is going to be there? Confusion. Which you can see even now in some of the Indian airports. So like last January, end of January 2018, I was trying to exit India and come to Atlanta. I was catching a flight out of Chennai. So we were standing in first we cleared the immigration, right? Then we had to clear security. We were were pushed from one line to another line 4 times. It was over an hour, and we were still standing in the the last security check. They said first, we are standing in the same line. They said move to the ladies only line because my wife and I were there. They said, why you are standing in the ladies line? Go to the other line. That was not moving. Then they said, you go to this line. So happened that, after 1 hour, nothing happened. So finally, protested, shouting, and things moved. Right? That was a total breakdown of process. There is no defined working process. There is a process, but it is not working. Process brings in efficiency, thus saving time and money at a minimum. So a process is a step-by-step way of completing a task. What are the different steps in software development lifecycle? What are the different steps in software development lifecycle? Couple of things we already talked about: testing and the BA's role is requirement definition and testing, right? We talked about it. What are the other steps? First step is feasibility study. Requirement, design, development, testing, deployment, and maintenance. What is feasibility study? Will come there in a second. What is requirement definition? We just went through it. 4-step process, right? Understand customer. At a minimum, 4 to 5 step process. There's a lot more steps. But for now, for a beginner, what are the steps we saw? Understand customer requirements. Talk to the customer. Gather requirements. Document the gathered requirements. The documented requirements should be reviewed and approved. Then BA will have to guide the design and development team to create a product. Even BA participates in testing phase. Today I will explain it. BA participates in the design phase. They are more like an advisory role. QA phase. So this is a BA's role in in a nutshell. Then product, once the requirement is done, somebody is asking question, I'll be with you in a second. Then design and development happens. Testing happens. Product is launched for customer use, maintenance, right? So going back to the these roles. So if you are brand new to IT, you'll be asking questions like, what is maintenance? Right? So when you buy a car, don't you think it goes through maintenance? So why not you buy a car and keep it for just don't take it to oil change, filter change, nothing. Just keep it. Like Tesla cars, you don't have to have oil change, if I'm right. But Tesla cars, as part of maintenance, software gets updated. Do you know that you get a new car, every 3 to 4 months? Because it's all software driven and software gets updated. Anyway, you guys know what maintenance is. When you buy a home, it goes through maintenance process. Software also needs, oil change, filter change, all that. Deployment. So, iPhone launches an iPhone 11, Samsung launches a phone. You guys are standing in a line to buy the phone. Product launching, right? You know what is product launching? That is when software is launched for customer use. In fact, your iPhone is a sophisticated software. Just like your laptop works because of sophisticated software, iPhone is nothing but a sophisticated software. It is a software that makes iPhone what it is. So will you buy a car if the BMW dealer says that it has never been tested, but $3,000 discount, can you take it? Or if they say, so car is never designed. It is based on some random design, not proper design. Design is not based on any sound requirements. This is manufacturing, creating a product, development. See, all these concepts you know, but you don't know. Even feasibility you know. You'll learn about it in a couple of minutes. So as you go through this, you realize that these are part of any product development life cycle. Any product development life cycle. And we'll come to the concept of life cycle and all that soon. So you don't have to be an IT person to understand this. You buy a product, the product goes through all these steps. Okay. But these 7 steps can be completed in many different ways. many different ways. So one is waterfall, right? One is waterfall. So as the name says, it falls down from top to bottom, like a waterfall, one step at a time. Theoretically speaking, practically it doesn't work that way most times. First step is feasibility study, requirements, design, development, testing, deployment, and maintenance, something like that, right? One step at a time, like a ladder. This is waterfall. Waterfall is like a ladder. You move, right? If you're on the top of the ladder, what you do is generally, unless you are, someone is crazy, you go one step at a time. You come down one step at a time, you go up one step at a time. Okay? Waterfall is like a ladder-like approach, one step at a time. Somebody said, no, this is one step at a time is inefficient. We have to have a more efficient process where one or more teams can work in parallel. So one of the differences between Agile and Waterfall is that teams can work in parallel. If it is properly planned, design, development, test team, all can work in parallel. Then, earlier days they had V model, then they had spiral. Okay. So many other models were there, but one important takeaway is that, whatever may be the model, we need these steps. We need a testing step. You cannot say, I'm using an Agile model, I'm not going to test. I'm using a V model, we are not going to design. So will you buy a product if they say that it is not being designed? So, right? Unless there is a valid reason, you will not. But you will run away from there. So, let it be spiral, rad, or mad, or whatever it is, you are going to see these steps. So, as part of the first step, what is the first step in the in the learning whole process is with a sound foundation is that you need to learn these steps. We are going to use waterfall as a launching pad to learn them. But if you have a sound understanding of these 7 steps, then how they go about doing it, you can pretty much pick it up. It's just a way of doing is different. That's all. And Agile has got some inbuilt complexities associated with it, which is okay, but it won't take much time for you to understand those things. Okay, to summarize and open up for questions, 10 minutes ago or 12 minutes ago we started it. Software is a product. The product, there should be a process. The process, just there should be set of steps to do it. What are the steps? 7 steps. But these 7 steps can be completed in using Agile, Waterfall, V model, Spiral, RAD, etc. Okay. All right. Questions now. Yes, Samir, go ahead. Yes, Samir, probably you are on mute. You are welcome to unmute and ask questions.
Yeah, sorry, Nandu. Yeah, Nandu, hi. So I'm asking this question from a perspective of business analyst. As you said, the business analyst role starts at requirement definition. Now, whenever the requirement is there, who creates the requirement and the feasibility study? So I've gone through a couple of resumes. They say we are doing end-to-end project, and from the start of the project and the end of the project. So who defines the goal for the project? And is it not the duty of a business analyst to do that feasibility study? Just a little of confusion over there.
Yeah, BA may have a small role to play in feasibility study, but there are other important roles in feasibility study. This also can change from project to project, product to product, company to company. What is feasibility study? So let's go back to the basics. Okay, what is feasibility study? So let me start off. Give me some time to answer your question. Okay, so let's go to the. I didn't talk about feasibility study. So what is feasibility study? So now let's go there. So let's talk about waterfall, and the first step is feasibility study. What did we see? Waterfall is a process that is used to develop a software. Okay? It is used to develop a software. But we also said that second point I made is software is a product. Let's say car. You can also use the same thing. Building is also a product. So that means waterfall process can be logically, you argue that waterfall process can be used to develop a building or a car. We earlier in the beginning of the demo class we saw this, right? So even Agile, right, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I went to Seattle. Okay, so I was visiting Boeing, and Boeing, they were having stand-up meetings, Agile stand-up meetings. So it is a right. Waterfall is a manufacturing kind of process. So it can be used by for any product. So let's say waterfall can be used to develop a building. So what I'm going to use is explain the process first using building as an example. And in this side, software. Along the way, we look at the role of a BA and also look at the role of a QA and other roles as well. Right? My focus is QA and BA, right? What is the step in any product creation? One of the first steps, earliest steps, is feasibility study. At a high level, what is feasibility study? Whether you need this product or not. So if you are buying a building, you have to do feasibility study. Buying a television, you do the research. That initial research step is part of feasibility study. So what is feasibility study? Cost benefit analysis. Cost versus benefit. So how do you calculate that? It can be a 1-month project, so we don't have time. At a minimum, okay, you look at what is my budget? When I need this product, there's a television, car, building, when I need it, including start time and end time. When the project should start, when I should end. Who is the builder? Who is the labor for this project? Right? Where is the location? Where is the right location of the project or the product where it is right building, location of the building, and what all I need in this product or what all I need in this building. Okay? So let's say this is a 4,000 square feet building that you want, 4 bedroom, 4 bath, kitchen, dining room, living room, etc. Who defined it? It is you, the owner of the home, owner of the building, who defined it. Let's say for namesake, husband and wife. So with what you want, location, parameter, who is the builder, start time and end time, your budget, you calculate the cost versus benefit, everything looks good. Then you go to requirements. Who is in the requirement base? One or more architect builders. What is their responsibility? Like in the demo I said, 4 or 5 step responsibility. Review customer requirements. Talk to the customer. Gather information from the customer. And document the gathered information. 4th step. Right? And then what happens? And then as a customer will have to, 5th step is review and approve. Review and approve. I talked about it. Once approved, design will be based on design. They are going to use this document, and development also will use this document to create a building. And QA's job is to test the building and make sure customer requirements are met. High level, this is the idea. Then deploy. What is it spelled? I'm not able to change the spelling. Deployment. What happens in deployment? This is where you move in and have a party, housewarming party. Once you move in, we all know maintain and support. Okay. So this process is very similar to software development lifecycle, right? Waterfall. We use waterfall as an example. So let's say you are running a bookstore. You want a website. Website, right? So what is the first step? Feasibility study. What is feasibility study? Cost benefit analysis. How do you calculate cost benefit analysis? What is my budget? Who is going to do it? Where is the labor? Which company is going to do it? And how many people are needed? That, related to that. Where are they located? Offshore, onshore, right, inshore or whatever, all those things, analysis, right? When? Start time and end time of the project. What all you need. So you need a product page, payment page, shipping page, all those pages, right? Amazon, just like Amazon, right? Just like Amazon, these are your requirements. And so here is the owner of the business, 1, 2, 3 people. So assuming feasibility study is successful, so this can, see, typical project, it can go for 3 weeks, 3 months, feasibility study, right? Basically, you have to make a case for a product development, right? So companies are spending millions of dollars, blindly they cannot do it. They need a justification. It's kind of a justification step, right? Yes, we need this to move forward. So then requirement starts. Who is involved? BAs. How many BAs? How many ABs are needed for a building? How many ABs are needed for a building? How many architects are needed for a building? Same, that's why I said it's a product concept. How many BAs are needed here? So what do you guys think? Why not you post a message here? How many architects or builders or right architect type of roles are needed to construct a building? Post a message. Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 3? So this is my question to you. You should post a message in the chat saying that it is 1, it is 2, right? So I'll give you 30 seconds to answer. Let's see. Nobody is answering. Post it in the chat message. Otherwise, I'll create a poll. So one says 1. Only one person answered. So Ratna, answer. Right? So my class is there for you to make mistakes. If you say 1 or 2, so you are not going to lose your grade. Prabhu, same thing. Go ahead and answer. Samir, I want all of you to at least 5 people to answer. So yeah, first to answer the chat message. So did you figure out how to post a chat message?
Hi Nandu, I'm on mobile and I can't get into chat. I'm not sure why.
Okay, all right. Yeah, all right. So what about rest? Okay, so only a couple of people answered. Okay, so it depends on how many people are needed. It depends on the size of the building. 20-story building may need 10 people. 1-story building may need only 1 person. Similarly, how many BAs are needed depends on the size of the software project, how soon you want it. All that, so many other things will have to decide. So there could be 2, there could be 3, or 35, 45 is also possible. It all depends on the size of the project. So let's say you are in New York, they are constructing a 100-story building. Imagine the kind of effort that is needed. How many designers will be needed? How many requirement people? Construction. So many. Right? So BA similarly, just like right-hand side, BA goes through a 5-step process, right? 5-6-step process. Understand customer requirements, talk to the customer, gather information, document the gathered information, 4th step, and then get it. 5th step is get it reviewed and approved. So after that, as explained on the right-hand side, right, product goes through design and development. It will still use this requirements document. Once website is created, it does the testing. Okay? For testing, they will use this requirements. Then website is launched, maintained and supported. So I want to see the similarities between left and right. And I gave you a simple example. How many architects, builders are needed? Depends on the size of the building. How many BAs are needed? Depends on the size of the project, the size of the software, and how soon you want it, and all that. So to conclude, this is called waterfall process because it falls down like a waterfall from top to bottom. Okay, top-down structure. It is serial. Serial means one step at a time. Theoretically, one step completes before you go to the next step. But reality, does it work that way? No. There is some back and forth happening. Lot of movement towards agile. Some companies still use waterfall. Some companies use combination of waterfall and agile. First 2 steps could be waterfall, then later on agile. That is also possible. Lot of government projects still run on a waterfall methodology. Okay, Toyota may be the most popular car. Honda may be the most popular car. People still drive a Ford or other cars, right? Not so popular cars. So, okay, keep that in mind. Okay, now second question, second set of questions. Second stopping point. Any questions? Okay. So since the question was asked, so let's go and address. I generally address it with some example. Who participates in this feasibility study? See, first of all, you need to understand that in this world, products are created, or you purchase a product to address an issue or a problem. That is the first thing you need to understand. Majority of the time, it is to address a problem. Why you are here? Why you guys are here? Right? You are buying a product from me. I am giving you a product. Right? We are addressing a problem. Right? You are in a certain job. You are not happy. You want to move to another job. That is a problem. You want to make more money. That is a problem. I am here to, because I love to teach, make some money. That is a problem too. So you look at your iPhone or Samsung phone that you have. So why not you use this iPhone 1? Today you are using iPhone 10. Why? Why not you keep the same phone? So one phone to another model, one model to what change did you see? Improvements. Issues have been addressed, product has been improved. So our whole life revolves around, right, solving some problems, making things life better and all that, right? So similarly, feasibility study. Before it starts, there is some issue that ABC retail as an inventory. I used to talk about this in detail. In the core BA class on Sunday, I'll talk about it. ABC retail as an inventory issue. New billing software or upgrade billing software has to be happened because the current one is too slow. More issues have to be fixed. Old technology, inventory not working. So what is the first step in process? Once it is identified and say, okay, it needs to be solved, one of the earliest steps is feasibility study. What all is involved? Just like that, how much money? Who are all going to be involved? What all is needed? How we are going to benefit from this? Business case has to be made. Right? This is valid. It makes sense to do this project. So who participates? That was the question that was asked. Who participates in feasibility study? Right? So so ABC inventory as an issue because they are not, the inventory is, what is happening is that it is not, there is no proper replenishment, right? So they are running short of items. They're running short of items. Okay. So who are all participating? First of all, as a general rule, who can participate? Generally speaking, it's just an idea. Okay. It's also a little bit subjective is there. It can vary from project to project, company to company. One who has a problem. Who has a problem with the ABC retail inventory? So the inventory team and warehouse team. So one was the problem, part of the problem. A couple of members from the inventory and warehouse can participate. Who is going to solve the problem? IT. So who from IT? Couple of key members from IT team can participate. Who is funding the problem? The management or the user billing, whatever, the department. Whoever is funding sponsor can be there. Project manager can be there. BA may play a role, may not play a role. Feasibility study can be a role, maybe, may not be, depends. Right? So as a recruiter, end to end doesn't mean that they worked in every phase. That is just a way of glorifying their resume, right? So do not literally take it. That is my take on that. So sometimes BA might work on end to end, especially in a smaller company, startup type of companies, right? So you have to do everything, including removing trash. Okay, removing trash, right? So that is how startups work. But in an organized setup, if you go into AT&T, work on a larger project, BA will not be seen anywhere in a feasibility study. So it is all situation based. Even the whole BA concepts are all many are situation based. So there is no formula like see in math multiplication if you have, or many times logic. There is only one answer. So BA's role is it can vary. Company to company, project to project, time to time, it can vary. It's all situation based. Okay, so any BA course can only give you a idea on how to go about doing things. So then you need to customize it as per your project. Okay. All right. Any questions? Okay. So the next couple of concepts, then we'll quickly go into question and answer session. Software development lifecycle. Oftentimes we heard about it. We hear about this. What is software development lifecycle? So using agile methodology or waterfall, you can develop a brand new building. Same process can be used to upgrade a building. Same process can be used to replace a building also. Process can be used to develop a brand new building, brand new home. Then you want to add a basement. Same process can be used. So basement, how feasibility study? What is the cost? Who is going to do it? When is the project? What all we need? Basement or bedroom requirements needs to be designed, constructed, tested, and so on. So software development life cycle can be looked at. What is the life cycle? Just the beginning to end. That is one life cycle. One you complete the process, that is one life cycle. That is the beginning of the process, end of the process. Or in other words, birth of the process, death of the process. So once it dies, what happens? So Windows, let's say for example, argument take Windows 7 started and ended. Next day, Microsoft wanted to develop Windows 8. Go back, start all over again with the birth. Then Windows 10. Windows 8 is completed. Then you need to start Windows 10, for example. You can go back and start all over again from the beginning. So the concept of starting a process, ending a process, starting, ending, birth, death, that is life cycle. So basically, the concept of reincarnation is what? Life cycle. Okay. The products born, die, they again come back in a different form. Same thing happens in a life cycle process. Okay, so either agile or waterfall or whatever it is, so you just go through that life cycle. So that is the core concept. Okay. So all these are concept based. So you cannot use this the examples that I'm giving. Some of the examples you cannot use in an interview and all that. Even today they ask what is software development life cycle sometimes. Okay. My students do tell me that they do get this interview question, so you need to give more of a technical answer. Okay. All right. Questions. So let's move on. Okay. So finally, we 2 minutes we'll end the theory and do some exercise. Okay. Understand IT roles and environment responsibilities, right? So I talked about who participates in feasibility study, right? And then who participates in the requirements phase? Mostly it is BA and a customer. You can call the person as user or a customer or a client. It all, right? Then, then in some cases they are also called SMEs. It all depends on the type of product and all that. We'll look at it in a different class. The same concept is good even when a building is constructed. Suppose I am an architect builder. You want to build a home, so you are a user. You are once the home is built, you are going to use the building. You are my customer. You are my client too. This me scenario doesn't apply here. So these are all same names for. They can be used interchangeably. Who participates in the design phase? So they all come up with glorified names from time to time. Architects. Okay, did I put it? Yeah, architects, designers, senior programmers. QA, they are called QA testers these days. Even they are called software development test engineers. That is one of the latest names. Software development test engineers or something similar. Programming is called for, software development is done. They are called programmers, software engineers. Testing, QA, test engineers, right? Deployment, again, there is a separate team who can do it. Smaller companies, it can be developer. It all depends. Okay. Smaller startup with 5-10 people, there cannot be a separate team of people. One person has to do more than one task. All right, any questions? Okay, so the next topic is, okay, so we'll just do this. Let's see, So here, I don't know who is answering what. Multiple answers are correct, okay? But I encourage you to participate. So we are increasingly going in this direction. So, okay, let's ask few questions. So 30 seconds, okay? You have 30 seconds to answer. More than one answer is correct. Okay. So only 67% voted. I'm expecting 90% to vote. Okay. I'm expecting 90%. Okay, 5 more seconds. I'll close this. One person did not vote. Okay, that's okay. I'm closing the poll and sharing it. Okay, so the best answer is the first answer, software development lifecycle or system development lifecycle. Okay, so deployment lifecycle or design life, definitely not design lifecycle. The last answer is wrong. Last but one answer is also wrong. It's not used. Best answer is software development lifecycle, and system development lifecycle is also acceptable answer. Okay, the SDLC stands for the software development lifecycle. Right. Next question. Thirty seconds more. Okay, I'm closing the poll now. So the first two are correct, right? Serial means one step at a time, So why we saw that, right? Waterfall is serial. I talked about it. Serial means one step at a time. Okay. So the fourth one is also right. Development will start after design, requirements and design are done. Third and the fifth are wrong. Okay, more questions soon. So now we are going to see the see BA's role in testing phase, and right, tomorrow BAs are going to learn testing. BAs are going to learn testing. So now this is also slightly an advanced concept, right? Being the first class, I'm not going to be very technical. Instead, we go back to how we started. Okay, how we started in order to explain BA's role in testing and QA BA how they work together. So so how we started, software equal to product. Toy is also a product. So I'm going to use toy as an example to explain this concept of BA playing a role in the testing. Okay. So as part of that, okay, here is the problem. Right, guys, take a minute to read it. I'll explain it and throw the first question. Okay. So I'm going to use the toy as an example to explain the role of a BA in testing. Okay. Instead of a toy, I can also use a building. So you are going to answer the question. So you can also use building. You can imagine yourself you are in California constructing a $1 million home in Atlanta or anywhere. So Nandu is the owner of a toy company. Idea is to come up with a toy. Investor, my idea. So all the BA students, you are product analysts. I'm not even going to call you a BA. Product analyst. No more IT. Forget IT. So the toy went through feasibility, performance, design, development. It is in testing phase now. Testing phase now. Okay. So the question is, as a product analyst, you worked in the requirement phase. As a product analyst, will you be curious to test the product? Okay, you test the toy. If you say yes, or if you say yes or no, you need to figure out, and then as a product analyst, will you be curious or not? So that is the question. Okay, so take a minute, and here is the question. Okay, so answer the poll questions. Okay, make sure you answer the poll questions. Hope I launched it. Did I launch it? 1 second. Yeah, it is launched. So I also gave you a clue. Use building as an example. That you are the owner of the building. There is a product analyst like an architect builder. Should the architect builder be curious or not? Should the architect builder test the product when the construction is going on? So I want more percentage, only One more person, you can answer. So, okay. One more person is thinking, what will I do if I am wrong? Nothing. Nobody is going to know you are right or wrong, right? So just to take a chance and answer. You will learn by making mistakes. Okay. All right. So 1 minute and 30 seconds over. I'm going to close the poll and discuss the answer. Right. So product goes through and product is in testing. So what is that? So let's take that California example. So you are here in California. Right? So you are investing $1 million to build a home in Atlanta. So I'm the architect builder. We went through requirements, design. Let's say construction is going on. A time for testing, right? So the feasibility was completed. So you and I worked on the requirements. We went through this 4-step process. Initially, you wanted some kind of home. We did a 4-step process: understand, talk, gather, document. The documentation, you approved it. Then our design and development and test team will take over. Development and QA will take over. So when the development is going on, some kind of testing is also likely to happen in this kind of product creation. But the most important question is, what do you want me to do? If I'm an architect builder who did this 4-5 step process, what should I do? Should I take a vacation? Should I take a vacation and go, or go to the construction site and see how it is coming along? So should I check or not? Should I call you? Should I call you and say, yeah, it is construction is coming along. Okay, your what is that? You wanted certain things in the kitchen. It's all being done. Right? Check it, and also send pictures. So these days we have WhatsApp and all that, right? Send pictures. So take a picture of your living room. See, this is how it is. Do you like it or not? Right? So the answer to this question is, natural. These are all natural. What is your expectation? So I should be testing, number one. Not only that, I have to keep you informed, right? I need to take pictures, call you, keep you have invested $1 million. I need to keep you on the progress. Right? And obviously, I wrote the requirement, and I'm also curious to see how the product is coming along. One thing is just saying, the product should jump, a product should do this, do that. But when that is happening, right? At least partially happening, I want to see it, to see how my requirements are coming along, right? See, the role of a BA, in another way, if you look at it, the role of a BA, so if you take a human being, so the role of a BA to just define, how many hands are there, how many legs are there, related requirements, how many fingers, what all the hands should happen, what the hand should do. But the life to the product is given by design and development team. The life force, prana, right? The breathing. All that, that is the design and development team are the ones who give life to the product. Obviously, when the life is being given, so you as a requirement person, curious to see how the working product is. Right? You want to see the working product and touch it, feel it. It's a very natural thing to happen. So remember that. So let's go to the next question. Okay, the product is in the same California home scenario you can take, toy scenario you can take. Product is under tight deadline. 3 testers are testing. 1 tester left. 1 more week to finish testing. Who is a better replacement for the tester? If I have to describe that scenario, let's say there are 3 testers. Okay. 3 developers. 3 designers. 3. Okay. Similarly, 3 requirement for people. 1 more week left. No time to hire. 1 tester will quit. hiring, background checks, all that going to take time. We don't. So who is the better? There is also, I mean, imagine this owner is also there. I forgot. Who is a better replacement for the tester? Is it someone from the development team or testing or the requirement team? So if you are building $1 million home, if you are investing $1 million to, right, who would you prefer? Poll is launched. %40 voted. So I encourage you to vote. Okay. I'll close the poll because the required number of people also voted. You can see the result now, right? 71 were product analyst. That is one of the right answer. 8 is a product analyst because he or she works on the requirement, knows what client wants. Developer or design person, not the right answer. There is no time to hire. First one, all of you got it right. No time to hire. I indirectly quoted that also. A developer or design person ideally should not test. Why? Why the person should not test? So I want you to whoever answered. So I want you to make this call. The same $1 million home example, right? So you are trying to build a $1 million home. The common design development. Some testing is also going on. Kitchen is done. Do you want the person, right, who constructed the kitchen to come and test the kitchen? How many of you would want that? The person who constructed the kitchen, you want that person to come and test. How many of you would want that? Okay. How many of you would want that? So Ratna, would you want that? Would you want that to happen? Or probably anyone? Whoever answered, tell me. Right? So anybody wants to answer? Right? So to cut it short, this conversation. So it is not a great idea. It is not the best in the interest of you, the owner, to have a construction guy come and test because there is conflict of interest. Separation of duties should be there. Meaning, the guy who constructed the kitchen, if you ask to test, he or she will say, even if they find a mistake, they may not report it, they may hide it, or just patch it up. So many things can happen. Okay. So among the three groups, right, the design, development, and requirements, reasonably independent person would be someone from the requirement team, product analyst, or in IT term, it's going to be a business analyst. A business analyst can be pulled into testing, right? When I was a business analyst, many times I was also pulled into it. And we do a class on this topic. And tomorrow, starting from tomorrow or whenever you do this BA class, testing is a must. Because it is a very natural thing. It is not. That's why I'm saying these concepts are not IT concepts. It's a very natural thing that can happen in any product life cycle. That the guy who wrote the requirement can be pulled into testing. He or she knows what the customer wants. So BA also participates in, so believe it or not, I will show you one more. Just yesterday I did this class for January batch. I can show it to you. We're almost done, 5 minutes. After requirements phase, is the BA's job done? No. This is what I keep repeating. What happens after weeks or months have been spent in gathering? Just 4-step process, understanding customer requirements. Right? I didn't talk about analysis and all that. Documents are finished, reviews are completed, approvals. Some of these steps I already talked about it. The BA's job done? No. So this is the other thing I talked about. BA's role after requirement can vary from, even during requirement, not only after, even during requirements can vary from company to company, project to project. Okay. But beyond that, BA does managing requirement changes, participating in design and test reviews, traceability. BA does test reviews. How will you, do test reviews if you don't know testing? BA participation in test process. BA does QA testing. BA does, it's called user acceptance testing. Many companies, BA actually performs UAT. Anybody tells you, you don't have to know testing, you don't have to know SQL, don't believe them. That you have to, these days, you have to know a lot more than just the BA role. So you have to know a lot more than BA role. So remember that. Okay. So that is the last part. Right. I do one more exercise like this, but I will stop here. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't do. But basically that is right. So to summarize, BA mainly participates in the requirement phase along with the client. Works with the client to develop requirements. So let's say requirement related to payment. So BA will go through the 4-step process, 5-step process, right? Understand customer's headache, understand customer problems. In this case, let's say payment related. So talk to the customer, gather requirements, and document. There is analysis stuff also, will not worry at this point of time. So the documentation of the requirements also have to be, customer will have to approve it. Client will have to approve it. The document is reviewed and approved. Once it's approved, design takes place, programming takes place. So they create a product. What is the role of a QA? Test. Test against what? Documented requirements. Let's say there are 3 requirements, right? I talked about it in the demo class too. First one, MasterCard is valid. MasterCard payment is valid. Second requirement says that Visa card payment is valid. Third one says that Amex payment is not valid. Accordingly, design and development would have happened. So when QA is testing, what they need to do? So they need to load the software. They need to load, let's say, a website. Tester would use a MasterCard. Make sure it is working. They will use a Visa card. Make sure it is working. They will use an Amex. Make sure it is not working. So how do you know that what is working, what is not working? That is what requirement says. So test process is driven by requirements. Understand that. So requirement should say what should work and what should not work. Accordingly, test process will be driven. So in tomorrow's class, or whenever you decide to learn manual testing and all that, so your whole process will be driven by requirements. So students who already joined, so tomorrow's class, that's how it will happen. So they will have a bunch of requirements. So one by one, you learn how to test, how to document, how to record results, all that, and that is will be done that way. Okay. All right. So that brings an end to this class. Any questions? Okay. So so tomorrow's class, if you are interested in joining, do not hesitate to message me or call me after 8 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. I'll also share the schedule with you, and then you can. Okay. Thank you and good night.